What's going on, you guys? This is New York Adventure in 1994 here, and it is Friday, July 14th, 2023, and for the first time since September 2021, I am officially back in Disney's Old Key West Resort. I am staying here for the first time since September 2021, and I'm going to give you guys another tour of this place to see what changed the last 2 years. So this is my resort room right here, and I believe I'm in the same spot as I was the last time, but the building I was staying in was right over there. But this is like the same area, like the same bus stop, which is down there. Now let's get to work, shall we? It feels so weird being back here. It feels like it hasn't been almost 2 years. It feels like only yesterday it was the last time I stayed here. It's crazy how the time flew because I went on vacation so many times the last 2 years. Like, they weren't just annual vacations, like once a year, they were like multiple. Like, I went to Disney in September, I went in March of 2022, and then I went in July of 2022 with 2 days at Universal, and then November I went to Nashville, and then February I flew to Raleigh, North Carolina, for a Rangers game against the Hurricanes. And then May I went to Albany to see my friend there for a Best Buddies walk. And then June I went to Disney, I stayed at the Grand Floridian. And then July 2023 I'm back here at Old Key West. Yeah. And let me tell you guys something about September 2021. It was really hard times back then, actually. I actually stayed in this resort like a month after my grandmother passed away. She wasn't doing so good anymore. Like, she wasn't really responding or anything, and she just passed away on Friday, August 20th, 2021, and we had the funeral, we had the wake. We had the wake, we had the funeral, and then all of a sudden we had Hurricane Irma's all of a sudden, like a week after the funeral, we had Hurricane Ida's remnants after it slammed Louisiana hardcore. Louisiana took a serious beating from the storm. It was like 3 weeks after that when I came here in September 2021. Yeah, so it was rough times back then. I was inside the 40-day period when I came here in September 2021. It has to do with the tradition. It's some tradition my family's in that there's like this 40-day period after someone passes away. Yeah, so I went to Disney in September 2021 during the 40-day period, and it actually ended when I came home from Disney. And we did the service when we got back to Long Island. Like, we went to Queens that weekend and we did the 40-day service at the cemetery. Believe it or not, we were supposed to get hit by 2 hurricanes, believe it or not, that year. We almost got hit hardcore by Hurricane Henri, like 2 days after my grandmother passed. It was supposed to hit us that Sunday. Yeah, I was expecting a lot of power outages on Long Island. It was really bad. It was worse for the East End. It was supposed to be worse for the East End, but instead it made landfall in Rhode Island, and it was like a minimal hurricane. It was like it was nothing compared to what Hurricane Bob did in '91. So that's the building I stayed in over there. Yeah, I remember 2021 being absolutely ridiculous with the hurricanes, especially with Hurricane Ida. And while I was staying here, we had another hurricane far out in the Atlantic named Hurricane Sam, and it rapidly grew into a Cat 4, and it lived for like 3 weeks all through this trip. It actually formed the day of when I first got here. And here comes the biggest challenge. I have to cross the street. So yeah. It was really rough times the last time I stayed in this resort. Especially with my grandmother passing away, and she spent time in the hospital for like ever since Christmas of 2020. It was a really hard year for all of us. That's like one of the worst years I had in my entire life. '2020 and 2021 were 2 bad years connected together. And don't get me wrong, we had an awesome time in Disney in September, despite what was going on. I didn't want the sadness to like win. We wanted to have a good time in Disney, even no matter what was going on. And we did. That's what I was thankful for. But when something sad happens like that, it's like a bumper sticker. It's like glued onto you forever. Yeah, it's really tough for me to it's like, there's like a certain part of me that finds it tough to stay in this resort again because of what happened in 2021. Don't get me wrong, I love Old Key West. It's a really nice resort. I would stay here anytime, but there's some part of me that finds it hard being back here. And you get all those feelings back. And it's like there's like a tough side to it. It's like a good but tough side. That's how I say it. The last time I updated and took a walk around this resort, I went over that all the transportation here is like by bus. Everything here is by bus, except you could take a boat to Disney Springs. That's like a little change in transportation, but all 4 theme parks are by bus over here. There's like no monorails or no boats to theme parks, only to Disney Springs, which is open to the public. And you could take a bus to Disney Springs, but this is like your alternate way of transportation to Disney Springs. And I think it's like the same kind of boat that takes you to Saratoga. Also. There's the fountain over there. I'm like crossing the bridge. I remember the last time I made an update on this resort. It was like pitch black the last time. I remember doing it at night. It was like 8 o'clock at night when I last did it. I like got back from the Magic Kingdom that night. It was September 23rd from what I remembered. I stayed from the 22nd to the 29th in 2021. And this is like the first bus stop over there. when the bus is like dropping guests off from the park. This is like the first stop when entering Old Key West. Yeah, we always get off at that stop because the buses have to go all over the place before they stop at the hospitality area, which is the main area. Yep, there's the main area. I remember staying here in September 2021, and our room was actually a one bedroom connected to a studio bedroom. And me and my brother actually shared the studio room, and my parents had the bedroom and my brother had the living room to himself. My other brother. But me and my brother, Christian, shared the studio bedroom, which was like a lock-off, but we brought two of the rooms that time because of the points we had, I think. I'm sorry I keep dragging on about September 2021 and how hard it was, but don't get me wrong, that trip was a hit, but there's like a hard part to it, especially when you lose a family member. So I've been staying in this resort since 2006. My first time was July 2006. And then I stayed the following year in July 2007. And then I came back here in July 2013. And it was a short trip because we drove down in March that year too. And then we came back in July 2014. And then we stayed in September 2021. Which is the subject I'm trying to move on from now because I wasted a whole video talking about it. I'm gonna move on from it. But there's still gonna be things here and there about that past trip. I'm excited to be back here, I am, but there's still that hard part to me coming back again. Olivia's Cafe. Their breakfast is phenomenal. And Contrast General Store, they sell a lot of good stuff. It's like any other general store you see at a Disney resort. Like you could get ice cream, you could get snacks, you could get clothes, and there's some toys in there. Yeah, it's like any other Disney resort. And we had that place at the boardwalk called Screen Door, which is also a general store. We really love that place when we stay at Boardwalk, because that's where we get our snacks and stuff. And that's where I get my Mickey ice cream bar, which has been famous for the last several years. I'm going to start a new part to the video, I promise. It won't be as harsh as the first part was, as I was dragging on about September 2021. So, stay tuned for part 2.